Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to draft this stylish keyhole neckline blouse. If this is a video you're interested in, please keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Now let's begin with the drafting. First off, I'm going to fold my pattern paper into two, and I'm going to mark 5 inches all the way down. That's for the overlap. If you look at the thumbnail, the start on the thumbnail, there's an overlap at the front of the blouse, so that's what the 5 inches is for. So I'll proceed to marking that, and I've gone ahead to do that, and we'll start taking our measurement right from that mark. I'll mark my shoulder to bust line 9 inches, shoulder to bust point 11 inches, shoulder to waist 16 inches, shoulder to length, shoulder to hip 23 inches, and shoulder to length 28 inches. I'll proceed now to extending those lines just as shown, and after extending the lines, we'll impute our measurement all the way. But before that, I'll label my lines so that I will not be confused. So I'll proceed now to labeling my shoulder line, my chest line, my bust line, my bust point, waist, and hip, then length. So right now I need my chest line because of the keyhole neckline. So normally your chest line is 2 inches upwards from your bust line. Yeah, your chest line should be 2 inches upwards from your bust line, or at most 2.5 inches. So I proceeded now to marking my shoulder, which is 16 divided by 2. That will give me 8 inches. I've marked that both on my shoulder line and on my bust line. And I went down to connect the line with a straight line, and I proceeded to marking 1 inch for shoulder slope. After marking 1 inch for shoulder slope, I went to mark my bust round measurements. My bust round is 42 divided by 4, that will give me 10.5. I've connected that line, and I'll proceed to curving my armhole just as shown. Please watch the video. Please pay attention and watch the video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Now I'll proceed to marking my nipple to nipple measurement. That's 8 inches divided by 2, that will give me 4, plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance, that will give me 4.5. So I'll mark that all the way from my bust point to meet my length. We need this measurement because of the way the blouse is structured. We need this bust point. So I'll proceed now to my waistline and take 1 inch on both sides. You can do 0.5 inches, but I did 1 inch on both sides for mine. So I'll mark my dart of 1 inch on both sides, and I'll just connect the lines just as shown. I'll be using this type of dart for my blouse, and I'll proceed to the next part, which is to marking my neckline. Now that we are done marking our darts, we have taken our dart in. Now we proceed to the neckline. Now on the thumbnail, you'll see that it's a very stylish neckline, a stylish keyhole neckline. First, we'll be drafting a round neck. Then after drafting the round neck, we'll now carve out the keyhole pattern for the neckline. So I'll be going downwards by 4 inches. You can do 5 inches depending on how wide you want your neckline to be. But for me, and for the sake of this video, I'll be drafting 4 inches for my neck depth for the front, and I'll proceed to covering my neck round just as shown. And after covering the neck round, I'll come down and I'll just mark 3 inches for my keyhole. You can do 2 inches, you can do 4 inches depending on how open you want your chest to be. And if you notice, that chest line is needed because of this keyhole neckline. The chest line measurement is needed because of the keyhole neckline. So I stopped my marking on my chest line measurement. Now I said before, your chest line is 2 inches above your bust line, or at most 2.5 inches above your bust line. Yes, that's the way you mark your chest line. So I've gone ahead to curve my keyhole neckline because on the thumbnail, that's exactly how the pattern should look like. So right now I'm just adding 2 inches of sewing allowance to my bust round measurement. I'll come to my waist. My waist is 38 divided by 4, that will give me 9.5, plus 2 inches of that taken and 2 inches of sewing allowance. And I'll come to my hip. My hip is 44 divided by 4, that will give me 11 inches. I'll mark that and 2 inches of that taken. So 2 inches of sewing allowance, sorry. So right now I'll go ahead and connect the lines just as shown, and your pattern should come out looking like this. Yes, your pattern should come out looking like this. Now, because of the shape of the blouse in the front, you can see there's an opening at the front. We want to connect from our hip to meet our dart leg. I don't know if you understand what I'm doing. Please just watch the video. You want to connect from your hip to meet the dart leg, because we're going to form that opening at the front of the overlap for the blouse. So right now, and I'll come to my 5 inches mark, that's on the hip line, and I'll connect a straight line to meet the dart leg as well. Please watch the video. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. This is the way you want to go about drafting that blouse, the blouse on the thumbnail. You won't make a mistake if you draft it this way. So right now, because of the way the front of the pattern is looking like, that's the blouse. If you look at the thumbnail very well, the front has a very overlap place. So right now, I'll be drafting the overlap, and this is the way I'm going to go about it. I'm just going to connect a line from my chest line to form the overlap. If you have watched my video to this point, please give this video a like. It helps my channel a lot. Please subscribe to the channel because we have more fun tutorials coming your way. Now, because I want my overlap to be slanted, I'll come down by 1 inch. You can do 0.5 inches, but I came down by 1 inch and I'll be slanting it all the way to meet my chest line. This is the way I want my overlap to be. So this is how I'm going to go about it. So after slanting, we are done with the front pattern. I'll proceed now to the next step of cutting out the pattern, and after cutting out, we'll align it together so that you can see how the pattern would turn out. So right now that I'm done, before that we're going to connect a straight line so that our overlap can be defined more in this pattern. So I've gone ahead to draw the slant line just as you can see in the video. I've gone ahead to connect it. So we'll proceed now to cutting out this pattern. If you're a beginner, please I advise for you to cut out on your pattern before you draft on fabric. Please ensure you do that so that you don't end up making a mistake while drafting on your fabric directly. So right now I'm cutting out my pattern. Please watch how I cut out my pattern so that you don't make a mistake cutting out yours. You want to ensure that you cut out your patterns right before you cut on fabric. So I'll proceed now to doing that. You can see our patterns coming together. So I'll proceed now to aligning. I'll fold in that dart so that you can see how it should turn out. So this is the dart leg. I folded it in. So this is how your pattern should look like. You can see our keyhole coming out nicely. So you see that the pattern is aligning together. This is how you want your pattern to look like, and there's an opening at the front. So right now we are done with the front pattern. We're going to go to the back pattern. The back is very easy. I've gone ahead to draft my zipper allowance of 1 inch, my shoulder to bust line 9 inches, my shoulder to waist 16 inches, and my shoulder to hip, that is 23 inches. We only need the hip measurement for this back because we're going to be shaping it at the back. So right now I've proceeded to cover my armhole. I came down by 1 inch for shoulder strap at the back as well. My back neck depth is 1 inch. You can do 1.5 depending on how open you want your back to be, but I came down by 1 inch. I went ahead to curve my neck depth. I also marked my neck width of 4 inches at the back as well. So Right now, I'll proceed to marking my bust point because I'll be placing a dart at the back as well. So my bust point, that's 11 inches as well for the back. So I'll proceed to labeling shoulder line, bust point, waist, and hip. So I'll proceed now to marking my nipple to nipple measurement plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance. That will give me 4.5. I'll mark that measurement and I'll proceed to, cover my dart. I'll go to my waist and go in by 0.5 inches for the back dart. You can do 1 inches, but I'm doing 0.5 inches for the back dart. So after covering my dart, I'll proceed to aligning my measurements. I'll go to my bust line and add 2 inches of sewing allowance. My waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches of dart taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. My hips divided by 4 plus 2 inches of dart taking, 2 inches of sewing allowance, So after that, I'll connect the lines just as shown. Then we'll come to the zipper allowance. I'll come to the waistline and go in by 0.5 and go outwards by 0.5 on the waist. So I'll be slanting my back just as shown, my zipper allowance just as shown. You want your back snatched and also to avoid zipper bulge. So that's why I'm drafting my pattern like this. When you draft it like this, you avoid zipper bulge and you snatch your back as well. So I'm just blending the lines to meet the waistline just as shown. This is how you want your back pattern to be. Now you can try to curve your back, but I'm not going to curve mine. I'm just going to cut out mine straight like that. After that, we'll cut out the pattern. If you're a beginner, like I said in the beginning, please ensure you draft on pattern paper before you cut on fabric. You don't want to make a mistake. That's why you have to draft on your pattern paper before you draft on fabric. Now that we are done with the cutting of the back, this is how the back should turn out looking. After folding in the dart, this is what we have for the back. and we have the tutorial for both the front and the back. Now, because on the tutorial, on the thumbnail, you have a sleeve. So right now we'll proceed to drafting the sleeve of this blouse. So I mark the length of 10 inches. You can do whatever length, it works fine as well. I'll mark my cap's height of 4 inches. To get your cap's height, divide your bust round divided by 12 plus 0.5 inches. That's my own is 42 divided by 12. That will give me 3.5 plus 0.5. That will give me 4 inches. That's how I got my cap's height. So right now, I'll just be marking my armhole round. That will give me 11 inches. I went ahead to connect the lines slightly, and I'll be looking for the midpoint. I'll just mark that midpoint, and I'll just come down by 0.5 inches and go upward by 0.5 inches. But I'll proceed now to curve out my armhole. Please watch how I curve out my armhole. This is the way I'll proceed to curving it on that 0.5 inches mark. I'll proceed that, and from there I'll be able to draft my armhole curve. I don't know if you understand. This is how I'll be drafting my sleeves. So I'll proceed now to curving just as shown. Please follow this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply. I'll proceed now to curving mine. Because I want my sleeves a bit curved, I'll come down by 0.5 inches and still curve out my sleeves. If you come down by 0.5 just like I've done and you curve out your sleeves, I rather prefer you have excess than to have shortage. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I prefer you have excess than to have shortage. So that 0.5 inches is just in case my sleeves do not align at the end of the day. So I have excess to work with. So I'll mark my arm round. My arm round is 9 inches. I'll mark that measurement. That's 18 all the way around. Divided by 2, that will give me 9. So I'll proceed now to curving my sleeve just as shown. You want to ensure you curve out your sleeves like this. It brings out a perfect sleeve. It brings out a perfect sleeve. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Until I come your way again. Bye.